Anyway, there's other things like where this roll-up keyboard is cute and techy and all that neat. And as a kid, I thought, well, maybe a roll-up keyboard would actually be kind of useful and kind of neat because keyboards are always kind of hard to get around and all that other stuff like that. And where basically this keyboard actually began its life in like Germany or some sort of German scientist and probably went to China or something like that, and where it actually got produced, which has a roll-up keyboard which is magnetic and cute and neat and sold. And well, for the computer market, it really didn't really play out very well and wasn't very, very useful and would be considered a failure. But for the cell phone market, it actually was actually very fairly successful and actually used by a lot of different people at coffee shops and other places. A lot of things like even Wi-Fi at coffee shops and other stuff. Originally, we had telephone service at coffee shops and restaurants and other things like that, and even radio and all that other stuff at some of my restaurants and other things. There's a lot of things where eventually people will find out or people start to realize it's LS, it's all LS. They used to call it they actually called it Howard Hughes and all that other stuff, but Howard Hughes had nothing to do with anything really. Even Howard Hughes Tool was actually just my old tool companies being put under a different name. And technically he was just someone who actually followed my orders more than other people did. Anyway, and seemed to do very well. Anyway, it's all a bunch of stuff and would be considered national security and top secret. And basically we're pretty much, just a bunch of people running around with guns, shooting other people and other people defending themselves. And all that other kind of stuff. And it gets all crazy and funny and strange, and I don't really care. But basically, it's where pretty much, basically people that had nothing to do with the government or nothing to do with anything were just pirates. Anyway, whatever. You get to deal with your own crazy existence. But, basically where John McCain was running around with some White Star submarines, raping people on what he called commando raids. And like I said, this actually became very apparent when he actually tried to walk into the Washington, D.C. building wearing nothing but a Speedo. A red Speedo, in fact, where he was ushered off and actually taken away from the Washington, D.C. building because they did not want him there wearing nothing but a Speedo. And it was John McCain. And there's actually photographic evidence of this fact. And it was sometime around 1920, 1930 when he was a young teenager. And he thought he was just that powerful, just that whatever. And then the photographs, of course, were burned and people were killed over it because it showed off John McCain walking up the Washington, D.C. steps, I believe, wearing nothing but a red Speedo. And later on, it would come out that he had been using the White Star submarines with photographs and everything else to do commando raids, which meant basically wearing nothing or just a Speedo, where they would rape and also kill people and other things, Chinese, English women, and some other people. Anyway, on their commando raids, which they considered top secret national security, using the White Star submarines from Pearl Harbor. So anyway, and this is all stuff that, then again, like I said, it was Lusifer White Star's Washington, D.C. building and Lusifer White Star's White House, which they moved into. Anyway, all the things that they were trying to kill me before this could become public. And all that other stuff. And lots of payoffs and lots of bribes and lots of everything else. And realistically, if I was just the president or just the leader, I would already be dead or blah, blah, blah. And it wouldn't really matter. And those kids that are bugging me would actually be right. But it gets a little bit more complicated than that when I'm actually the builder of this galaxy, which I named the Milky Way, and also the galaxy coming at us, which is MC whatever other. This one they thought or they wanted to say was MC whatever, but it's not. This is actually the Milky Way or something or other. But there's this galaxy, there's that galaxy, and then there's 800 others, which should be on file somewhere. Anyway, and there's spaceships and all kinds of cool stuff out there. And it gets all very complicated and blah, 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 blah. And I don't really care anymore because I'm 40 years from death. And it doesn't really matter. But anyway, and everybody eventually gets to go, what the? So Lucifer Star is our creator. It's like, yeah, I'm your creator. And I did so a couple 100 trillion years ago. Yeah, well, for humanity, probably about 60, 70 trillion years ago. I don't know, maybe only 30 trillion years ago, some point in time. Anyway, and it gets all complicated in that when they're saying, there's not enough resources, there's not enough metal in the universe. And it's like, what are you talking about? The sun creates matter every single day. Every single second, there's more matter in the universe than there was a minute ago. because of the rotation. It's energy. It's rotational energy into matter creation through the sun. It gives out particles, and we have more metal. And this is all stuff that Nixon and everybody else, including Rodney, probably wanted to cover up, because every second there is more matter and more material in the universe because of the suns and the planets. And on the large scale of 800 galaxies, well, that adds up to a whole lot of metal and matter, doesn't it? And that's why it really matters, because I'm the person who actually created all that and caused all that. And go back to, if not the creation of particles and everything else, the creation of more matter in the universe. And that's why I matter more than most people, or most life forms, because I was the one who did that. Which is another thing that's highly contested and basically trying to be regarded as national security and top secret.